Espresso. A single shot of concentrated coffee, forced through finely ground beans under high pressure. It was invented in Italy in the early 1900s when engineers figured out how to push water through coffee faster than ever before. The result is a small, intense cup with a golden layer of crema on top. That crema is not just for looks. It traps the aromatic oils and gives espresso its signature texture. Most coffee drinks start here, which is why understanding espresso matters. Without it, the rest of the menu would not exist. Americano. Espresso diluted with hot water. The story goes that American soldiers in Italy during World War II found straight espresso too strong, so they added water to make it feel more like the drip coffee back home. The name stuck. An Americano keeps the depth and complexity of espresso but stretches it into something lighter and more sippable. The order of pouring matters too. Water first, then espresso, preserves the crema. Espresso first, then water, mixes it in. Either way, it is a simple drink with a surprisingly specific origin. Cappuccino. Equal parts espresso, steamed milk, and milk foam. The name comes from the Capuchin friars, whose brown robes matched the color of the drink. In Italy, it is strictly a morning beverage. Ordering one after lunch is technically possible but quietly frowned upon. The foam is the defining feature. It should be dense and velvety, not bubbly or dry. A good cappuccino feels weighty in the hand because the foam holds its structure. It sits at the perfect intersection of strong coffee and creamy comfort. Latte. Espresso with a lot of steamed milk and just a thin layer of foam on top. The word simply means milk in Italian, which tells you everything about the proportions. Lattes became popular in the United States in the 1980s and then spread worldwide. The mild flavor makes them a gateway drink for people new to coffee. Baristas often use the wide surface to pour art, turning a simple drink into a small canvas. It is less about the intensity of the coffee and more about the balance and warmth of the whole cup. Flat white. Similar to a latte but smaller, stronger, and with microfoam instead of thick foam. It was developed in Australia and New Zealand in the 1980s, though both countries claim full credit. The milk is steamed to a silkier consistency, with bubbles so tiny they are barely visible. This lets the foam blend into the espresso instead of sitting on top. The result is a drink that feels rich and creamy without being heavy. It has become the choice for people who want milk coffee but still want to taste the espresso underneath. Macchiato. Espresso marked with just a spot of milk foam. Macchiato means stained or spotted in Italian. The idea was to distinguish it from a plain espresso for waiters rushing through busy cafes. There is very little milk, so the coffee flavor dominates completely. In some American coffee chains, the word got stretched into a caramel-sweetened, milk-heavy drink, but the original is nothing like that. A true macchiato is brief, sharp, and over in a few sips. Mocha. Espresso mixed with chocolate and topped with steamed milk. It borrows its name from the port city of Mocha in Yemen, which was once a major hub for the coffee trade. The chocolate is usually syrup or powder, and the drink often gets whipped cream as well. It sits somewhere between coffee and dessert. Some purists dismiss it, but it has been around in various forms for centuries. The combination of bitter espresso and sweet chocolate is hard to improve upon, which is why it never really goes out of style. Cortado. Equal parts espresso and warm steamed milk, with no foam at all. It comes from Spain and Latin America, where it is a standard afternoon drink. The milk cuts the acidity of the espresso without diluting the strength too much. Because there is no foam, the texture is smooth and uniform from the first sip to the last. It is smaller than a flat white and more balanced than a macchiato. For people who find straight espresso too harsh but lattes too milky, the Cortado is the quiet middle ground. Affogato. A scoop of vanilla ice cream drowned in a shot of hot espresso. The name means drowned in Italian, which is exactly what happens. It is technically a dessert, though it lives on coffee menus around the world. The contrast of hot and cold, bitter and sweet, makes it more interesting than the sum of its parts. Some versions add a shot of liqueur, but the classic needs nothing else. It is best eaten quickly, before the ice cream melts completely into the coffee. Cold brew. Coffee steeped in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. No heat is involved, which changes everything. The slow extraction pulls out fewer acids, so the result is smoother and naturally sweeter than hot brewed coffee poured over ice. It has ancient roots in Japan but became a mainstream phenomenon in the United States around 2015. Because it is concentrated, it is often diluted before drinking. It keeps well in the fridge for days, making it the practical choice for people who want coffee ready when they wake up. Nitro cold brew. Cold brew infused with nitrogen gas and served on tap, like a stout beer. The nitrogen creates tiny bubbles that give the coffee a thick, creamy texture without adding any milk. It cascades when poured, settling into a dark body with a foamy head. The idea came from craft beer culture and spread quickly through specialty coffee shops. It feels like a completely different drink from regular cold brew, even though the base is the same. The nitrogen does not change the flavor much, but it transforms the experience entirely. Turkish coffee. Very finely ground coffee simmered in water, usually with sugar, and served unfiltered. The grounds settle at the bottom of the cup, and drinking it is a slow, intentional process. It comes from the Ottoman Empire and remains central to hospitality across the Middle East, Balkans, and Mediterranean. The preparation is almost ceremonial, and the reading of fortune from the leftover grounds is a lingering tradition. The coffee itself is strong, thick, and often spiced with cardamom. It is not a drink you rush.